And we can see this every day in our lives. The child that we are happy about some days back in front of us, we see that child in front of our eyes. Then the teeth come out, then he starts to eat, then he starts to speak, then he starts to move around, then he starts to stand, then he starts to walk, then along with that he starts to read. Then practical life starts. The same child in front of us we see time passes, becomes a young person, youthful. Then when the time comes, we get our children married, and we old people who have children, and we see this in front of us. And further, whilst we watch this, witness this, and then one day a person disappears from this world. Yes? So if we pay attention with our eyes, and a person he sees, and he thinks, how did all this happen? So quickly the time passes. It's surprising, shocking for a person to actually, when he sees that, he thinks it's shocking. But, where does he go? And that's the time about which the Holy Prophet ﷺ is mentioning that will be the consequence. That on the day of resurrection, a person will be stood and Allah will gather all the people together. What will be the scene at that time? What will be the scene of panic, running around here and there? Think about it. Just today in front of us, what we're seeing is going on, the panic. Yeah? Which is just a bit of, what should we say? We cannot even imagine compared to the day's resurrection. There's nothing to compare to that day of Hashr. So what will be our hal? Yeah? Even now at the moment there's food and drink, but at that time we are still afraid in our homes. What's happened? Still everything's there. And may Allah Ta'ala not allow something worse to occur, and we'll be even more distressed. So brothers, at least we've got something, we've got assistance and help, etc. But that day, the day of resurrection, will be severe, and will happen quickly. It will come quickly. So on that day of resurrection, Allah Ta'ala said that 7 qualities, make them inherent with you, create them within you. If you have those 7 qualities, if you prepare them and develop them within you, then that day that will come to will be so severe and hard. The Prophet ﷺ has drawn out a sketch for us, a scene. Subhanallah. The Prophet ﷺ said, it would be such a severe and hard time, and if we develop a quality within us and we try, where will that assistance come on the day of Hashr? Those good qualities will help us, that the person will then be taken to the shade of Allah's mercy. The shade of Allah's mercy. If he has the good qualities, and tell me what a great way out. Relief for a person at that time. Relief. We can imagine today if it's announced now that everything's ended now, the problem's ended, and normal life, everyone come out, watch the celebrations that will take place. Is rajulun dhikrullah, such an individual who remembers Allah and in isolation, subhanallah. He does dhikr in isolation, seclusion on his own, and whilst he does dhikr in seclusion, in his eyes, from his eyes comes a tear. Subhanallah. And he's crying, lamenting, seclusion, isolation, dhikr of Allah, remembrance of Allah, and a tear rolls from his eyes. Such an individual who has this quality, who does this action, who develops this emotion, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the dunya, in this world, is giving the good news that tomorrow you will come into the shade of my mercy. Subhanallah. This is the dhikr of Allah, the effect. This is the benefit. Shaitan, how he's taken us far from dhikr. Shaitan. Leave dhikr. Why do dhikr? Being away from noise. Quickly, let me finish my work, go home, I'll do dhikr. Oh, I'll go there, I'll sit down, that match and this match. No, I don't feel like going. His heart doesn't feel. Automatically his heart won't feel. Not this that someone's forced you not to do that. Why don't you come? I don't know why he didn't come. He just didn't feel like coming. This happens sometimes. I don't feel like eating. Ruh, spirit of all deeds. So when a person starts dhikr, all the sins were present. He wasn't praying salah, she didn't have observed parda, but they started dhikr, subhanallah. Dhikr takes effect. He seats him away from waste and makes him separate from everyone else. And remember Allah in isolation, all the wasteful love comes out of the heart. And that person following those stages, doing dhikr, Mubarak, congratulations to that person. Alhamdulillah, his dhikr is very successful. And what do we think? Dhikr is good if you see kashf and visions and miracles, you start seeing dreams and you see things and feel things and emotions and crying and you're pious. This is not the sign of success of dhikr. The successful